Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to make the video on the chapter in the black cat. So let's start. This chapter is written by Ruskin Bond. So let's start. Before the cat came, of course, there has to be a broomstick. In the bazaar of one of our hill stations is an old junk shop, dirty, dingy, and dark, in which I often potter about looking for old books or Victorian bric-a-brac. So, the in the bazaar of R means Ruskin Bod is telling of his hill station. So Ruskin Bod lives in a hill station. So in the bazaar of his hill station, there is an old junk shop of where old things are kept. So he has described it dirty, dingy, and dark, in which I often potter about looking for old books and Victorian bric-a-brac. So, what does Ruskin Bod looks there? He often potters means looks for some old books or Victorian bric-a-brac. Bric-a-brac means ornaments and other small decorative objects of little value. Sometimes one comes across useful household items, but I did not usually notice this. So sometimes he comes across of some useful household items also, but he did not usually notice them. I was, however, attracted to an old but well preserved broom standing in the corner of the shop. So the writer was attracted by what? He was attracted by an old but well preserved broom standing where at the corner of the shop. A long handled broom was just what I needed. What did the uh, writer needed? The writer needed an a long handled broom. I had no servants to sweep out the rooms of my cottage, so he didn't have servants to sweep the room of his cottage, so he lived in a cottage. And I did not enjoy bending over double when using the common short handled jharu. So when he used the short handled broom, so he did not like bending, so that is why he wanted a long handled broom. The old broom was priced at 10 rupees. What was the price of the broom? 10 rupees. I hangled it, means bargain. He bargained he bargained it and got for 5. 5 for 5 means he got it for 5 rupees. It was of 10 rupees, but he bargained it and he got it for 5 rupees. It was a strong broom. What is the means? What is the definition of that article? How we can define that article? It is a strong broom full of character, and he used effectively almost every morning. And there the story might have ended or would never have begun if I have not seen the large black cat sitting in the garden wall. So why this story started? This story must have ended, or would the story must have ended till here only, but or would have not started only, but he saw a large black cat sitting on his garden wall. Now here from here the story starts. Now uh, what how did the black cat look? The black cat had bright yellow eyes, and it gave the author long penetrating look. Penetrating look means um, penetrating means a look that how I can use him. He looked him like that how I can use this man. like that. And I thought that it was summing up my possibilities as I can exploitable human. So he was looking how to find the possible ways to exploit him. Next page. Though it mewed once or twice, I paid no attention. I did not care much for cats. But when I went indoors, I found that cat had followed and begun scratching at pantry door. So the cat mewed once or twice, means one time and second time, but he didn't saw any attention because he did not care much of cats. But when he went indoors, he found that the cat followed him and began to scratch pantry. Pantry means kitchen. Kitchen. Pantry means kitchen. It must be hungry, I thought, and gave it some milk. So why the cat was scratching the door? Because he wanted food. He was hungry at the kitchen stove, and he thought that he to give him some milk. The cat lapped up the milk, purring deeply all the while, and sprung up on the cupboard and made itself comfortable. Now we also, when we eat now, we will feel sleepy. So like that cat also, after eating, he sprang on the cupboard and made itself comfortable. Now, well, for several days, there was no getting rid of the cat. That seemed completely at home and merely tolerated my presence in the house. It was more interested in my broom than me. So, for many days, the cat, for many days, there was no getting rid of the cat. The cat was not going only. It seemed completely at home. It was only at that house, and merely tolerated my presence in the house. Means he did not paid attention to the author. Just he paid attention for him for giving him food, and he was more interested in the broom neither than the author. And he would dance and skittle around the broom whenever he swept the house. And when the broom was resting against the wall, the cat would sidle up to it. Sidle means walk sideways into a steady manner. So when the author was brooming with the broom, so he skittles and dances around it. But when it is kept in against the wall, the cat would means go sideways in a steady manner, purring loudly. The cat and the broomstick, the combination was suggestive, full of possibilities. So the cat and the broomstick was a combination of that was suggestive, full of possibilities. The cottage where he lived was old, almost of 100 years. How much years? 100 years old. And I wondered about the kind of entrance it might have during these long years. So in this, he is telling that his cottage was more than 100 years old, but he is wondering that who lived over here had seen a suggestive combination like this or not. I had been in this cottage for a year. See how much time he had been in this cottage? For a year. And though it stood alone in the midst of the forest of Himalaya, oh, I never incurred any ghost or spirits. So where he lived, it was in the midst of forest of Himalayan oak, and he didn't thought of any ghosts or spirits would go there. Miss Bellows came at the middle of July. When did Miss Bellows came? Miss Bellows came in the middle of July. I heard the tapping of a walking stick on the rocky path outside the cottage, and tapping with stopped near the gate. So when did Miss Bellows came? Miss Bellows came in the middle of July, and he heard the tapping of the walking stick on the rocky path, because it is a mountain. So there will be a rock. So in the rocking path, the tapping of the walking sticks sound is coming. Outside his cottage, the tapping stopped. Mr. Bond can and called an empress voice, "Are you at home?" So Miss Bellows told in an empress means so overbearing. So she overbeared and said, "Are you at home?" I had been doing some gardening and looked up to find an elderly straight backed English woman peering at me over the gate. So he was doing some gardening, and then he saw a elderly straight backed English woman peering at his gate. So it can come in the definition of Miss Bellows. So till here we are going to read, and in next video I will start from good evening. Bye guys, see you in my next video.